Ash and Pikachu are already in the game, but they are not playable yet. So I was like, why not I make a single concept and see how wrong I am when he's actually out. I'll be assuming Ash and Pikachu are a special free sync pair that's coming soon, so don't expect anything too overpowered as he's free. So how do we go about this? As you all know, Pikachu is a pretty speedy Pokemon, both in the games as well as in the anime. Hence, I decided to dedicate a lot of things in his kit to speed and gauge management. Let's start with the basics. Pikachu is an electric type, weak to ground. I initially thought of giving him Strike, but a certain somebody already stole it. For stats, he has good HP, okay attack, defense and special defense, high special attack, and very high speed. His first passive is a new one called Team Move Gauge Refresh 2, 30% chance of charging the user's move gauge by 1 for each allied sync pair on the field when the move is successful. This sounds confusing, but basically what this passive does is that it has a 30% chance of gaining 3 gauges every time you use a move, assuming none of your teammate has fainted, and yes, this also includes trainer moves. This passive will allow you to use high gauge sync pairs with ease. Not only that, his second passive is Team Fast Track 9, with +1 speed to all your allies every time your Pokemon uses a move, so even more gauge management. Last passive is Team Sharp Entry 1, you +1 crit to entire team when you enter battle. I chose this passive because I feel like this is something DNA would give to a free sync pair. For team skill, we have Electric, Kanto, main character, Pallet Town, and for the last one I gave him Passionate Spirit because, well, he's pretty passionate, right? Now here comes the fun part where we talk about his moves. Currently in Pokemon Journeys, Pikachu has the following moves: Thunderbolt, Electro Web, Quick Attack, and Iron Tail. Out of the 4 moves, the 3 most tech moves are Thunderbolt, Electro Web, and Iron Tail. My first choice was Original Thunderbolt with Go Viral 9 and Hostile Environment 9 for AoE paralysis, but I realized his same move is already Thunderbolt, so that eliminates Thunderbolt from the equation. We are now left with only Electro Web and Iron Tail. Hence, the first move is Electro Web. It is an AoE electric type attack that can -1 speed on all your opponents. The second move is Iron Tail, a steel physical attack with only 75% accuracy. It also has a 30% chance to -1 defense on your opponent. For his first trainer move, I gave him Mini Potion Ore. I thought of giving him regular potion, but I don't want him to become the clone of goddamn MC and Pikachu. His second trainer move is I Choose You, with +2 crit, accuracy, and special attack. This means that he's able to max his own crit with his trainer move and Team Sharp Entry 1. The +2 accuracy is pretty important as well, because it makes Electro Web and Iron Tail 100% accurate. His sync move is obviously the Z move 10 million volt Thunderbolt. The power increases the lower your opponent's speed is. Unfortunately, the sync move has a higher crit chance, hence it has lower PP. Just from looking at his base kit, he's honestly pretty underwhelming. He has no multiplier for regular moves, so he has pretty low DPS, he cannot max special attack, and well, I guess he can AoE debuff speed, has good gauge management, and that's pretty much it. Well, a lot of electrifying stuff is in his grid, and they might actually shock you. Get it? Electrifying and shock, because Pikachu is an electric type. So at 1 out of 5, he gets the passives Life and Haste. I gave him Life because he's an electric type, so it makes sense to be immune to paralysis. I gave him Haste because he can buff speed, so being immune to speed debuff would be nice. He also gets 2 Iron Tail MGR2. This is the grid for 1 out of 5. At 2 out of 5, he gets Iron Tail on a roll 3. If you take this, you are able to debuff defense with Iron Tail. Gets Electro Web MGR2, Trainer Move MPR3, as well as 2 Master Healer for Mini Potion Ore. The last and best thing at 2 out of 5 is Electro Web Mind Games 3. With this passive, you have a 40% chance to debuff special defense on top of speed every time Electro Web connects, making him a great teammate for special trackers. This is the grid for 2 out of 5. At 3 out of 5, I gave him quite a lot of multipliers for sync move and DPS. Remember at the beginning of the video where I said I wanted to give Ash and Pikachu AoE paralysis? Well, I decided to include that in his grid instead. Meet the new passive, Paralysis Sync. Get it? Paralysis and Sync. You get Paralyzing? Haha. Why am I still trying? Anyways, this passive will paralyze all opponents every time you sync, which will also activate the following 2 passives, Paralysis Synergy 9 and Static Shock 5. The 9 might feel a bit overpowered, but trust me, I've done a damage calculation and it's not that broken. You have 2 more passives for DPS, those being Hunter's Instinct and Ramming Speed, which you can easily activate with Electro Web and Team Fast Track 9 respectively. You have 1 more passive for Sync, which is Inertia, also easy to activate with Team Fast Track 9. And finally, I saved the best for last, Double Drop. With this passive, you are able to -2 speed, defense and special defense, making him a great debuffer. This is the full grid for Ash and Pikachu. So I have come up with 5 builds with the grid. The first one is a nuke grid with Paralyzing, Static Shock 5, and Inertia for some good nuke damage. Second build we have Electro Web DPS. The passives are Ramming Speed, Hunter's Instinct, and Paralysis Synergy 9. The only problem with this build is that you need another sync pair to Paralyze to activate Paralysis Synergy 9. The DPS is actually pretty respectable, especially for a 2 gauge move. Third build we have Iron Tail DPS. The passives are Ramming Speed and Paralysis Synergy 9. Same as the last build, you need a Paralysis sync pair to activate Paralysis Synergy 9. But the damage is very high if you can set up everything correctly. Fourth build, we have the fast debuff build with Double Drop and Mind Games 3. This passive can easily get all opponents to -6 speed as well as some special defense debuff. It can be easily slotted into any team with strong special strikers. The fifth and last build is a support build with Mind Games 3 and all the mini potion and all stuff. This can probably work well in longer battles. This video took a while to make, so if you watch the entire thing, I would appreciate it if you like the video. I don't normally ask likes in my videos, but when I do, you know I put a bit too much effort into the video.